Hey guys, this is Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've been facing this beast for like the last 2 years. It's always been actually one of my favorite parts of Raid Shadow Legends, taking on the clan boss. And we know there is a new HYDRA boss dropping in December. Raid are doing it in quite a fun way actually, albeit it's a bit annoying for a content creator like me. But they are dropping little bits and pieces about the HYDRA here and there. So they've literally dropped some stuff in their Twitter, I think their Facebook. They released something as in a comment on one of Scratch's videos. They gave some stuff directly to Ash. So we are looking for the HYDRA heads. We've got 3 so far. I'm going to go through the 3 that we've got in this video. If you guys see on any of the Raid socials anything more, let me know. Let me know. Drop me a comment on my Facebook or my Twitter, because I'm kind of on those all the time, or in my Discord. But I think there's going to be something like 5 heads, but I'm guessing because I don't have any more information than what you guys have got. I'm literally picking up the bits and pieces in the same way that you are. So let's go on to the 5 that we know. We're already building on the hellhades.com website a kind of section around HYDRA. So I'm just going to go through what we already know, and then I'm going to go into the heads. As we're saying here, the long-awaited HYDRA boss is coming very soon. It was first hinted in 2019. There was a roadmap. For those that are not OGs here, there was a roadmap that said HYDRA boss will be out by the end of 2019. It's obviously been pushed back down the line, and now they're like, bam, we're coming at it, and we're coming at it strong. And what I've seen so far, it actually looks really cool. So what do we know then? So we don't know if it's going to be like old clan boss flexes with HYDRA boss. You know, will they be available both at the same time on the same day? So we still run clan boss and we run HYDRA, or will they be like intermittent in terms of what you're going to face each day for the clan? Will HYDRA boss just be like a weekend thing? We don't know those details yet. I would assume, based on everything else that Raid have done, is they'll just both be available, because you know it's not like they add new content and then suddenly it's not there. But then saying that with Doom Tower, you kind of mix the bosses up. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. Each of the heads has got their own abilities, passives, and nastiness about it. So you're going to have to work as a team to decide what's your target. Are you going to try and take out one specific head first? Are you all just going to kind of go in and do your own thing? Feels like one head at a time feels like the right tactic to me, but we'll see as we get through the video. And then we've got a heads guide here, which you can go into. We don't know how many heads there's going to be. It feels like it's probably going to be something like a 5 or 6 head monster. We've got 3 so far. And we don't know the difficulty of these heads in terms of HP levels, all that type of stuff. I'd imagine they're all going to be pretty damn varied. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that mechanic plays out. We do know that they're going to change affinity. So once you get yourself like into a good spot on one of the heads, that same team might not work next time round. We don't know how they're going to change affinity. Is it going to be like a percentage of health loss like clan boss, or is it just going to be when it spawns each day, each of the heads could have a random affinity? No idea. Let's get into the heads that are already out there. There is this kind of section already being built out on the website. Yeah, so here we go. So 3 different heads so far. And we don't know how they're going to interact with each other, all that type of stuff. But the first one up, Head of Torment. So maybe I can just zoom in a touch on this for you guys. Head of Torment then. So A1, Spectral Fangs. The A1 is a 50% chance of placing a fear debuff for 2 turns, which cannot be blocked or resisted. We're seeing this a lot more, but like with the Doom Tower bosses, with the new boss content they're bringing out, this ability to not be blocked or resisted, it's nasty because you can't bring in the usual crew to deal with it. So this debuff can't be blocked. No point in block debuffs to try and get this stopped or resisted. After the first attack, attacks all enemies under the fear or true fear. Damn. Already a nasty A1. Fear's not so bad because you can still try your main abilities. True Fear, though, is nasty. And we'll get to that in a minute, because True Fear, you try and use an ability and it wipes it out, even if you get feared. Whereas Fear, you try and use the ability It fails, but you can still go ahead and try and use it next time round. A2 then is an AoE ability. Damage increases by 25% for each debuff an enemy is under. So keep that in mind when we look at the other heads as well. You know, we're not just talking fears and stuff here. There's going to be other debuffs from other heads coming into play. So this could end up being an absolute smack of an A2. We'll see. Almighty Spectre. This is a passive. When attacked by enemies not under Veil or Perfect Veil, places true fear on them for a turn. Can't be blocked or resisted. So you don't have to be bringing in champions that can do like full team Veils or Perfect Veils, or champions that always kind of Veil or Perfect Veil themselves before they get going. And there's not that many of them around. You know, probably the most popular one that comes to mind is someone like a Duchess that just kind of, you know, Veils the team. But we kind of go into champions, I guess, in later videos once we know the full scope of the fight. So we got damage taken from poison, decreased by 90%. So poisons are pretty much like a no-go. You know, they're doing 10% of their normal damage. Very low. Decreases the damage all HYDRA heads take from AoEs by 10%. So we'll see if this is common for all the heads, but basically it feels like the more heads that are alive, the less damage you'll do from AoE, albeit a 10% reduction is not too bad. In fact, let's just flick to another one quickly. This one reduces AoE by 30%, by another 10%. So it feels like if all the heads are active, once we found out all of them, your AoE damage is going to be massively mitigated. So it might be like the start of the fight when you're trying to target one head, you need a lot of single target champions. If you take down the one that does like the 30% reduction, then it might be that the AoE teams start to come through. So interesting and fun mechanic. I like that. I like that the AoE has got that kind of diminishing returns depending on how many heads are up. Right, okay. Damage damage from steals that scale with max HP cannot exceed 10% of a head. So again, they've got this kind of like cap on enemy max HP champions. It's always been there on Clan Boss, in fairness. It's never been that great on Clan Boss. They might still be great when we're talking about single target hitters, because, you know, 10% of a head, if you've got Septimus and your Cold Hearts and that going in there, all of a sudden you're going to be blowing a head up pretty damn quick if you can get the damage away. The weird thing for me is, depending on the health of these heads, 10%, I mean, if you think about 10% of a Clan Boss hit, I mean, that would be a massive number, an absolutely extortionate number. So if they're even talking about this being a passive, then it makes me think the heads might not have crazy amounts of HP. Maybe. We'll see. Damage taken in one tick from an HP burn cannot exceed 20,000 health. This is interesting. So on every other bit of content we've got so far, HP burn has kind of stepped up when you get to endgame, because it was maintaining that very high level of damage. Whereas now, HP burn on an AoE is not going to be the answer here. It might still be an answer, but it's definitely not going to be the crazy damage we see elsewhere. Damage taken from reflected damage cannot exceed 50,000 per attack. I guess this is straight up thinking of Brogni. Straight up Brogni. You know, not gonna. He won't be the answer to take everyone down. It'd be interesting to see when this gets going, like how crazy Brogni and potentially Geo could be in these fights, because they could get their abilities ramping on all of the heads, which would be an insane level. Like, think about the Geomancer's HP burn going on 2 or 3 heads. Flipping heck, that is a ton of damage that he's going to be spreading all over the place. So I guess that's kind of what this is set up to try and stop. Immune to the normal stuff. Let's just see if there's anything weird. So people have been saying this to me. Immune to petrification debuffs. I mean, if you petrify, what's that? That's like turning someone to stone, I think. Petrifying. That's a brand new debuff. I wonder if, and maybe we'll see it in a minute, I wonder if one of these heads petrifies. I wonder if that's a new debuff that's being added to the game. Be interested to see what it is. I don't know. I've got no more information than what I'm sharing right now. So there you go. Another passive here, decapitation. Whenever this head is decapitated, removes all fear and true fear from all enemy champions. Then places perfect veil for 2 turns on 2 random enemy champions. Okay, that's cool. It's a cool thing. The more I'm reading it, it feels like it's not a clan fight. Maybe I'm wrong. Feels to me like this is not a clan attack. I guess it's got to be, but it feels more like a standalone boss. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but definitely like the way it's reading to me doesn't feel very clan fight-esque. You know, the fact that when you decapitate this head, removes those debuffs. Well, only one person surely can decapitate a head at a time. Don't know. Anyway, Head of Suffering, number 2 then. A1, Crippling Jaws. This is the second head. Crippling Jaws, AoE ability, places weaken for 2 turns, can't be resisted. Will not place weaken on enemies with strengthen. Bam. So there you go. All of a sudden you've got the a massive buff for people like obviously Lydia, people like Whirlim, that perhaps, I mean, Lydia's always been strong, but maybe Whirlim's a little bit on the side. Very strong champion since he was buffed, by the way, but might be a bit more worthwhile in this encounter. A2 then places ally protection. That's actually nasty. Places ally protection on all heads except this one for 2 turns. Then places 30% reflect damage on this head. That's a crazy ability. That's actually a crazy ability because reflect damage when you're hitting is nasty. When you put reflect damage on your team, it's pretty lame. But yeah, when you've got it on a boss, that's nasty, and he's protecting the rest of the boss's heads with this ability. So it goes on for 2 turns. That's a really nasty buff to be putting out there, honestly. Attacks 1 enemy on his A3, then places Pain Link. This is new for 3 turns. Then grants this head an extra turn. I'm guessing Pain Link is when he takes damage, you take damage. I don't think we get any description of it, but that's the way it would sound to me. A Pain Link, you're just like tied to that champion. I wonder as well if Pain Link ties in with Ally Protect. So this boss would take 50% of the damage the other heads are taking. The Pain Link of that 50% might straight come up on one of your champions, which would be nasty. So this is, again, a really cool mechanic. I really like the way they thought this through. Increases resistance of all HYDRA heads by 50 on a passive. Decreases the damage all HYDRA heads take from AoE by 30%. Decreases the damage taken from poison, same as normal. Same as normal on the other stuff here as well. I just wanted to see if... So you've got the same immunities. I'm just wondering if you are able to clean off the reflect damage and the ally protect. Doesn't say. I'm hoping you can, otherwise that is one nasty boss. I mean, we're very early on here, but this feels like the one to take out. Reducing tons of your AoE damage. This Pain Link's going to be a nightmare. Ally Protect is a nightmare with the reflect as well. Damn, this feels like a nasty one. Another passive here places a shield buff on all enemy champions, as in your team, for 2 turns equal to 30% of their max HP when this head goes down. That's nice. That's nice. I like these passives when a head drops. Really cool. Yeah, damn. That, again, it looks freaking nasty. So far, that one, to me, looks like the one you focus and try and take down. But because, obviously, you can't do much about the ally protection. You've got to deal, though, with the reflect damage that's coming back at you. Damn. That's awful. Right, third boss up then. Third head. Head of Mischief. So, the A1 then attacks the enemy with the most buffs, steals all buffs, and steals 50% of that turn meter. I guess at least you're in control where this is going to go. There's so much other stuff going on. I guess each of the heads must have just its own turn meter pop in, the same that you've got your own turn meter pop in. So it'll be really difficult to control. A2 applies a buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this head and placing them on all heads. So A1 steals your buffs. A2 spreads those buffs to all of the heads. Changes the duration of all buffs to 2 turns. Damn. Damn, that's nasty. And then that's it for his ability sensor. He's got A1 or A2. A passive here, 75% chance of redirecting enemy attacks into another random head. Will not occur if they're under Hex. So yeah, I mean, maybe Hex is going to be one of the big things around this boss to take it down. So we've not really got an option for Hex that's that viable yet. So interesting there. 10% reduction of AoE attacks. Interestingly, he's not immune to all of the other stuff unless this is... Oh, it's just continued here. So yeah, I actually just went... So Scratch was the person who first revealed this Head of Mischief. There's actually a YouTube channel that's got all of this info in it. And yeah, shout out to Scratch. He's done a couple of videos on this already. It does say here, to be continued. So it looks like we've got some info still to be depleted here, which will be all of the stuff that he's immune to, I guess. Whenever this head goes down, fully depletes the turn meter of all Hydra heads. Okay, that's interesting. That doesn't feel as strong as the rest, but still pretty cool. So there you go. That's the first 3 heads. So far, to me, it feels like, I mean, all nasty in their own way. We don't know how they're going to interact together. But this second head here, the Head of Suffering, feels like an absolute, like, shocker of a nasty head. Interesting, it says that it's going to increase the resistance of all Hydra heads by 50. That's going to be pumping the accuracy requirements up. So far, we're looking at a lot of stuff that can't be blocked or resisted. Until I think until we see the rest of the heads side by side, we won't fully know what type of teams are going to be strong, what type of stuff we need to do. But I guess here we go. Let's get ready. If you're on the site, let's pull it back to normal size. If you're on the site and you want to start planning and preparing, you know, stuff like which champions do buffs. On the right-hand side of most of the pages here, you can kind of come into the quick links for buffs, auras, whatever. If you look at the buffs here, we could find out the people that do, for example, the Veils. And if you want to see, you know, which of your champions already do a full team Veil, you've got here at the top, Veils for the team. So someone like Quagan, Rector, yeah, it could be coming out of the vault. Specific target ones, self ones, and random. Pixneal, is she coming out of the vault? So yeah, stuff like that can be found on the website. You know, again, if you want to look for cleansers in instant, you can find it. But yeah, fill your boots, come and have a look. So guys, look, I've got to say, I'm pretty damn excited for what's going on with the Hydra stuff. I feel like they're kind of doing a fun job. And I guess most people, I don't know about most, some people are going to be moany that it's not all just released, so we got all the information, but they're actually doing a fun job of kind of like releasing bits and pieces. If you find any more of the heads, let me know. Let me know. I've been Hell Hades. I will catch you later.